Niu Technologies just dropped its Q4 2025 earnings, and buried inside this call are some signals that every investor and EV enthusiast needs to hear. From a surprise product announcement to massive growth numbers out of China, this is one of the most eventful earnings calls in Niu's history. Stay with me, because we're counting down the top 10 takeaways, and number 1 might genuinely change how you see this company. Coming in at number 10, gross margin expansion. Niu closed out 2025 with a full-year gross margin of 19.6%, up a massive 4.4 percentage points compared to the prior year. That improvement was driven by a strategic shift toward higher-margin scooter models in China and relentless cost reduction efforts. For a company in growth mode, that kind of margin expansion is a serious signal of improving business quality. At number 9, we have a significant inventory headache. More than 300 million renminbi of Niu's total inventory, over half of it, consists of aged kick scooters sitting overseas. Management made it clear that clearing this inventory is the top international priority for all of 2026. It's a drag on the business, but at least leadership is being transparent about it. Number 8 is the 2026 volume guidance, and it's bold. Niu is projecting full-year sales of between 1.67 million and 1.91 million units. At the high end, that would represent roughly 60% growth over 2025. Management pointed to new product launches and continued domestic momentum as the primary drivers behind that optimistic outlook. At number 7, we look at the international channel restructuring. In key markets like the US and Germany, Niu deliberately walked away from traditional distributors in favor of direct-to-retailer partnerships. Yes, that killed short-term volume. Overseas sales fell 51% for the full year, but the payoff is higher margins, tighter brand control, and a more sustainable long-term channel structure. Number 6, revenue surged 31% for the full year. Total revenues reached 4.31 billion renminbi, up from 3.3 billion renminbi in 2024. China was the engine here, with domestic scooter revenue jumping nearly 42% year-over-year. This top-line growth, combined with the margin expansion we mentioned earlier, paints a compelling financial picture. At number 5, Niu dropped a major product bombshell. The company announced it would be unveiling the industry's first AI-enabled smart scooter at a product launch event on March 17, 2026, literally the day after this earnings call. Integrating AI agent capabilities and scenario-based interactions into a two-wheeler is a genuinely new frontier, and it positions Niu as a technology leader, not just a hardware maker. Number 4 is the China volume milestone. Domestic sales hit 1.11 million units in 2025, a 46.5% year-over-year increase, and the first time Niu has crossed the 1 million unit threshold in its home market. This was powered by channel expansion into lower-tier cities, a broader product range, and surging demand from Gen Z consumers. Coming in at number 3, China's new national standards for electric bicycles. The regulatory transition caused real disruption in Q4 as the old standard production window closed in August and retail sales of old models ended in November. This pulled volume forward into Q3 and made Q4 look soft on paper. But looking at the full second half of 2025, China deliveries actually grew 38% year-over-year, so the underlying demand is clearly still there. At number 2, international electric motorcycle sales absolutely exploded. Overseas e-motorcycle units surged 227% year-over-year to 9,600 units for the full year, with Q4 alone up 187%. Crucially, Niu grew its international dealer network from 120 to nearly 300 by going direct to retailer, and has an exciting global pipeline of new models ready to enter markets in 2026. And the number 1 takeaway from this earnings call, the FX Windstorm. This single model has fundamentally transformed Niu's business. Electric motorcycles now represent 23% of total annual sales, and the FX Windstorm alone accounted for a remarkable 42% of Q4 volume. Priced in the 4,000 renminbi to 5,000 range and packed with premium features like dual-channel ABS and millimeter-wave radar, it cracked open the Gen Z and delivery rider markets simultaneously. The Windstorm isn't just a product, it's proof that Niu can create a category and own it. That's your top 10 from Niu's Q4 2025 earnings. If you found this useful, hit like and subscribe for more earnings analysis from Earnings Central.